Gabbie. I'm gonna tell you right now that this was the last thing I was expecting this week. Out of all the guests that I thought would be on the BFFs podcast, I really didn't expect this one. But Gabbie Hanna decided to go on the show this week and talk a whole lot about a whole lot of things. She's been pretty quiet on social media, mostly just posting on TikTok here and there, re-uploading those TikToks to Instagram. She's kind of gotten called out here and there on TikTok, but she's been staying out of any major dramas. Last year, Gabbie spent a lot of her time trying to explain her side of the story in a lot of the dramas that she's been in, trying to bring receipts and tell people what she felt like happened in these situations and how her reputation got to where it was and how she felt like it wasn't fair. And when the plan of her redeeming her image back and people starting to see her side of things didn't really go her way, she kind of just left YouTube. And it hasn't really ever been the same for her since. She got a lot of hate for all those videos and bringing up old drama, so ever since then, she's kind of tried to lay low, and she's been way more focused on her art and her music and doesn't want to think about what people are saying about her. Which is why I was absolutely shocked to see her go on the BFFs podcast, because they do get in some drama and the show is covering a lot of hot topics and drama, so I was surprised she wanted to be on it. Now, during the filming of this, Gabbie was giving major rock star vibes, I'm gonna tell you that. And at some parts of the episode, it gets a little uncomfortable in the comment section. Oh, don't you guys worry. They're already pointing out how uncomfortable everyone else seemed to be having Gabbie on as a guest. But Josh especially, since he was the only one sitting in the same room as Gabbie. Dave and Bree call in remotely to do the podcast since they're in New York, and Josh is in LA, so he was with Gabbie in a room, just the two of them, and his facial expressions were something everybody in the comments were pointing out, saying, "I'm sorry, but Josh yawning and rolling his eyes are sending me." Josh's face while Gabbie is talking, he looks like a hostage who needs to blink twice for help. God bless Josh, he really took one for the team here, agreeing to do this alone in the same room. His face has me dead. Josh literally disassociating as Gabbie is talking has me dead. Some of the funniest BFF moments are watching the crew try and navigate a guest who's clearly off the rails. Gabbie was literally manifesting drama on this podcast from the very beginning of the episode, as she was wearing a shirt that she made that said, "Drama follows me."
You made the shirt?
Yeah, dude, I love making.
Okay, what's it say on it?
The front says "Drama follows me." On the back, it says "Show me how good it can get."
Oh. All right, well, we'll show you how good the drama is on BFFs.
Yeah.
So she's just bringing those vibes with her, even though I thought she was trying her best to be out of it. But anyway, Dave then brings up that drama does seem to follow her, and she had an interesting answer, and Josh looked visibly uncomfortable the whole time.
Drama does kind of follow you, right?
Not so much, and not in my real life. Just kind of like. Yeah.
Wait a minute, what's your real life? This?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I just like to, I don't know, I kind of just like hang out with people and like make and smoke and listen to music and go to live shows, and that's pretty much it.
Later, Gabbie says that she has come to the realization that she might not actually understand human interactions as well as she thought she did, which I honestly think is a big step for her. I think she spent a lot of the dramas that she was in with other people thinking one way about a situation while the other person thought something completely different, and it led to major miscommunication and frustration. Like the situation with her and Trisha, they were both arguing because Gabbie thought Trisha and her were friends, and Trisha was trying to say, "We were never friends. You were just reading into me being nice and talking to you, and you interpreted that as we are friends. I was never your friend."
I had to really learn how to, I guess, cope and understand other people. I realized that I don't understand people and social interactions as well as I thought I did.
Okay.
So yeah, just about growing up, I guess.
Gabbie says that she is currently in a place where she can ignore drama, whereas before she couldn't.
It's mostly, I'd say, I've always been very bad at ignoring drama, and I've gotten very good at ignoring drama.
Since Gabbie said she's pretty out of the internet world and the whole culture, Dave wanted to ask why she kind of wanted to come on and if she's aware of the TikTok world since they do cover hot topics every single episode. And she claims she wanted to come on because of the Barstool brand, which is so interesting because I feel like not a lot of people want to associate with Barstool because of their bad reputation, but Gabbie was very proudly saying that she was a Barstoolie.
I'm pretty tapped out of that. I think that you obviously I have so much respect for you guys. I think you're awesome and I love the show. But I've obviously known of Barstool for ages and I think that your whole attitude and energy is cool.
Gabbie says Dave inspired her the way he has champagne bottles, I guess, with his enemies' names on them, and that kind of pushed her into her villain era, she was calling it. She claims that her villain era didn't really go well for her though, and acknowledges last summer when she tried to tell her side of the story to issues she had with Jessie Smiles, Joey Graceffa, Trisha Paytas, and many more. She claims that because she's a woman, people didn't want to hear her side of the story and she was perceived as just a drama queen or a B-word.
The way that you have those champagne bottles with your enemy's name on them, that kind of pushed me into my villain era.
So I inspired you to hate. But
it wasn't for me though. I realized quickly that it wasn't for me. It also wasn't perceived the same on me, I believe, as a woman as it is a man. And that's honestly just like the truth of it is like when a man's like really going after people and people are like, yeah, that's hilarious. But if I'm to do that, it's like, what a she's a drama queen. So
they didn't like you going after people?
They didn't like me standing up for myself.
Which, no, people were upset. She was bringing up old traumas for people in order to tell what she felt like happened in order to salvage her reputation. And it went downhill when the people that she was talking about made video responses with receipts that they had that made Gabbie look bad and also look like a liar. Like when she said that the set of Escape the Night was toxic for her and they didn't provide her the correct healthy meals she needed and they were triggering her ED, even though Daniel posted a video with footage saying that there was healthy food there, provided footage of the trailers with the healthy food in there, and showed that he went to Whole Foods and personally got her healthy salads. She says standing up for herself was hard and it was not a good year for her, but she knew she needed to say her side.
So I stood up for myself. I kind of knew in my heart that it was going to be a really traumatic year for me to kind of scatter the roaches and see who's got my back, who's really here for me. I need to let people know that I will speak up for myself for the first time, because for years people are like, ignore it. And it's like, damn, how much can I ignore? How long do I have to ignore this before I can say my piece?
She later goes on a rant about Bad Baby, and Josh's face during this rant was priceless, you guys. Gabbie was trying to say that Bad Baby came from abuse and has trauma, and the internet continues to hate on this girl who got famous at 13 years old. And well, I mean, she got pretty famous and just made literally $50+ million on OnlyFans. She has a ton of followers. Her lifestyle completely changed from when she was first on Dr. Phil, and I haven't heard too many people saying anything negative about her as of recent. I mean, I think anybody on the internet with any sort of fame gets a lot of hate, and I think a lot of people were talking about her in the beginning. There was a lot of publicity surrounding Bad Baby, but Gabbie was really going for this topic, and she was really feeling for Bad Baby, and Josh honestly needed a hand to hold during this one.
Let me talk about Bad Baby. That little girl went on Dr. Phil when she was 13 years old, acting exactly like her mom. But what we're seeing is a little girl who's in an abusive household. Her dad left when she was young. She's now on a stage, the entire crowd attacking her. She's 13 years old. She's living the example that she's learned, which was from her mom. So we saw a little girl who is a victim of abuse and then was sent to a very abusive ranch where she experienced a lot of abuse with other kids who were experiencing abuse at the hands of Dr. Phil and his foundation. And she's acting, and she just turned 18, and we're all chastising this girl. We're all harassing her daily online because it's funny. It's funny to make fun of a 13-year-old girl. No, dude, let's teach that girl. Let's show her some love. Or if she's not acting right, let's not give her the right attention, but to like fucking brain in her in these most formative years of her life, that the example that she was set, you know how confusing that is, to be raised a certain way and only know an example of the way you were raised, and then the entire world tells you that you're bat crazy, evil, person.
Gabbie goes on to later say that her main reason for being on the podcast is to put a message out there to other creatives, saying she would love to collaborate with other artists in hopes that they can create something together and she can give money away. She says that she would never take from the other collaborator that she was working with. They would get, all the money, but she would want to donate her portion to whatever cause she feels like would help a lot of people.
Wanting to just make a real impact and make some real change and get some real money into the hands of the people who deserve it.
And Dave's reaction killed me, you guys.
I don't even know how to describe your all over the place. Like that's that's a super like noble, worthy cause.
You could tell they weren't really vibing with her vibes and what she was saying on the show.
Summer, I was like feeling very alone as I'm not going to get too heavy, don't worry, but I was at
You've
sort of a rock
already
bottom place.
sort of gotten heavy.
I was going to say, we've kind of already,
Yeah,
we've
we're
already
starting
reached
off
that.
hot.
Yeah.
Am I
like,
ruining the
usually
vibe
it's
of the
gossip,
show?
like-
No, this is the best vibe. All vibes are good vibes.
It's
here.
like,
Okay,
what do you
cool.
think of Dobrik? What do you think of Wittek? You're like, I don't want to talk about them. I'm just trying to save the world.
Save the earth.
Now, I don't really know why Dave and Josh didn't do any research into who Gabbie is. I don't know if this was a last minute type of situation. Brianna kind of knew things, but Dave and Josh were clueless as to what her past really was besides her being a drama queen. That was pretty much all they really knew. But Dave and Josh were extremely confused, and Gabbie didn't really want to talk too much about her past, and they didn't really know why, and they didn't know what her past really was.
You were severely getting bullied on the internet, so I think that
Why?
I don't know.
I feel like we're talking a little bit in code. Like, what worked?
Yeah. What was this thing that you guys are talking about that you did? What you did back then?
I just people were just attacking everything I did is the thing.
But what was the move that made them back off?
I just started exposing some facts about the people who were trying to paint me as somebody I wasn't.
Gabbie expresses so much throughout this that she just wants to spend her time giving back and she wants to be able to help people. She heavily stressed it, and I really do hope that those dreams can happen for her. It seems like she wants to turn things around and do a lot of good. So I definitely want to know if you guys watch this episode and what you guys think about what Gabbie has to say. I do want to mention that when I was talking earlier this week about Joey Graceffa and him going on Manny and Laura's podcast and talking about kind of what went on with Escape the Night, he did bring up how he feels like he is open to talking to Gabbie and forgiving Gabbie, and he would love an apology from her, but he feels like she can't accept faults in certain situations.
She's a good person, but there's just something that it's hard for her to wrap her mind around her being in the wrong.
Yeah.
And if she can come around to that, like she could have ended this so quick if she just admitted her faults and moved on.
And I feel like that's kind of what's happening here when Gabbie is talking about what happened last summer when she did make videos about Jesse and Joey and Daniel Prada. Like when she was talking about all those things here in this BFFs episode, she was saying that people didn't like when she was talking about her side, and she was just trying to show everybody what really happened to her, and people were just upset and they didn't want to hear it, and they thought she was being a drama queen and she was being a B word. There were just receipts that people are confused as to why you were acting the way that you were on set and why you were accusing them of not providing you the right food when they did. It's just like those things that are so confusing. But anyway, I definitely want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.